For those of you who have not met me yet, my name is Jennifer Pfeffer, and I am a TOSA for 1 hour of my day through Innovation and Learner Engagement Department. I spend the rest of my day as an English teacher at Martin Luther King High School. So I appreciate that you are here. I'm excited to start looking at some of this Kami stuff with you. We are going to start with a little bit of a Kami warm-up. So we're going to do some teacher edition, this or that. And so I'm going to put the link in the chat. If you have the presentation, you can click on where it says this or that. So if you click on that link, it is going to take you to Kami. You might have to authorize it with your Google account. So if you click the link and go ahead and open it up, a pop-up might come in to authorize with your Google Drive. So you want to go ahead and authorize that. Gonna take us in there. So it looks like I have 8 of us there already. Hi, Natalie. So if you will click in, and then your instructions are pretty simple. So you're going to choose a shape, change the color, and make your answer next to the option that is more used. So for example, you've got science and social studies. You have ELA or math, eat in the lounge or eat in your room. You can scroll down, there's a bunch of different things. I'm going to give you just a little bit of time to play from the teacher lens. I'm also using this as a little check-in to what we already know before we start. Again, those of you who came in a little bit after we started, in the activities tab at the bottom, there is the presentation that you can open and a link to join our Google Classroom. All right, so I'm seeing some circles and squares and colors. What we are doing right now is all collaborating on the same Google Doc. Okay, so we're putting some colors, see some blue and some teal. Oh, you're like, I'm here because I don't know how to do this. So you're experiencing it for the first time. Just want you to play around. There's shapes on the right-hand side. See some squares and circles and some purple triangles. You can see everybody is doing it together. My blue circle, EB, my blue circle, you were first. Probably Emma, you got all the way to the bottom. If you were in my class, I would know what your initials stood for. So I'm just sneaking and looking. HD, who's HD? Heidi Brown. Oh, Holly. Holly, you might be HD. See who's doing what. We're in the same room. Yep, there's 2 of you. So what I'm going to show you what I'm seeing. So you guys are seeing almost identical if you click back on the Google Meet really quick. So what you guys are seeing is everybody's editing. Because I own the document, I can also see the collaboration of who's doing what. So the people who are on the document have little live green circles. If I click on the triangle or the circle, I've given you all edit access. And so when you click, you can see the initials as well. And then if you're wondering who those initials belong to, you can click down here at the bottom and you can actually see who those initials belong to. It's kind of a cool collaboration. If you're curious, you are in the right spot. Okay, so click back on the Google Meet for me. Click back on the Google Meet. What we are going to do today, we are going to talk about how we can use Kami in some of these intro basic levels to improve our design of our lessons and to work on SAMR, which is in our Guide for Instructional Design, which is using thoughtful lesson design with integration of appropriate technology. So most of us have used Kami during COVID as a substitution method. We just simply needed kids to fill in a worksheet. And so that substitution, for augmentation, if we're doing some analysis. So our goal is that we are going to be able to land in that modification and that redefinition and how we use Kami. So we're going to look at some ways to do that. This is the entry level class though, so we're not going to get into a lot of that. The presentation that I've given you the link to, I have about 15 slides that are hidden in the presentation view, but when you look at it in non-presentation view, you can pull up lots and lots of ideas as well. For 21st century learning, this is again from our Guide of Instructional Support. We are looking for structured and focused feedback to our students to help them lead their own learning process. And so Kami is a tool that we can use in our own professional practice. It's also a tool that we can teach students to use as they work on their own learning process. So today we have 3 basic objectives. Our first objective is access Kami and the Kami resources. You have already accessed Kami. Look at that. Our goal number 2 is to explore Kami's tools, both as a teacher and as a student. The cool part about it is it's very similar. And then the third objective is to learn how to post Kami assignment into our Google Classroom. So this is if we were going to give it to our students. Depending on how fast we progress, I do have some extra things that we could talk about if we have time. If we don't have time, you'll want to come to Kami Advanced Training so that we can go over some of those cooler things as well. All right, so we're going to start by watching just a video of what is Kami. I know most of you have touched it, you've seen the K, but we do want, there's lots of things that it can do. So we're going to watch this video really quick. It's really short, and then we'll dive in.
Every day, teachers do incredible things, but juggling excellent teaching with managing assignments, tech troubles, and catering to every student's individual needs can become overwhelming. So we wondered how we could help. What if we could reimagine the digital learning environment by providing you with an all-in-one tool that unlocks potential, ignites creativity, and nurtures collaboration? Welcome to Kami. Upload any learning resource into Kami and share it with your students to create an interactive canvas ready for expression, analysis, and discussion. Kami fully integrates the programs you already use to power a seamless assignment management workflow, allowing you to create, assign, give feedback, grade, and whiteboard all within Kami. Empower students at every level with powerful and versatile tools to complete work their way, unlocking potential at every stage of their learning journey. Watch your students progress and provide feedback and encouragement at any time to drive engagement and improve learning outcomes. In class, remote, or a bit of both, online or offline, Kami will keep you teaching and learning wherever you may be. And as an all-in-one tool, you can spend less time learning a million new ones and more time with your students. Join millions of educators and transform your classroom today.
So again, tons and tons of ideas. So in the chat, go and tell me one of those things you just heard in the video that's something that is intriguing to you, or something that you might want to use Kami for. All right, so whiteboard function, all students using the same document together. It can grade. It doesn't grade for you, Jenny. You can grade on it. Document collaboration. I love the whiteboard. Using Kami to collaborate. Yeah, unfortunately, it does not grade it for you, but you can grade on top of it. Okay. I know. Okay, so I got some good ideas in there. A couple of things that they just mentioned. This is an overview of the video, but why Kami? So we have at our disposal a lot of different apps. So Kami is one of the most versatile apps you can use. So it interacts with every document. You've probably noticed in your Google Docs, the Annotate with Kami little logo has popped up everywhere. That's because Kami is syncing with Google Docs even better. And that leads us into the second one, that there's a seamless workflow with Google Classroom. Kami talks to Google Classroom, Classroom talks to Kami. And some of the issues that we had in the last 2 years have been solved, kind of saved our little butts a little bit in the Google Classroom land. It works offline or online. They have to open it online, but if they leave it open on their Chromebook, it will work when they're offline as well, in class or remote. And then my favorite tool is that student collaboration of their learning, which is kind of what we did in our this or that for in just a second. Okay, so how to access Kami? There's 2 ways to do it. The first way is with the Google Chrome Kami edition. The district has pushed this out to your devices as long as you are on a district device already. Okay, so if you go up into the little puzzle piece up at the top, you should see it. It might be in the drop down, or it might already be up at the top if you've used it often. So do that. Go ahead and do that right now. Go look at the puzzle piece. and you're going to find your Kami's purple circle with a K. You can push the push pin and then it will pin it to your list. But again, puzzle piece, purple K, and that is Kami. Now, if you do not have that extension on already installed on this slide, you can actually, I'll put this in the chat, you can install it for you. So if you're on a personal device and you have not installed it, you can just install it directly into your Chrome. But again, it will be there if you're using your district device already, okay? The other option is that we can open Chrome directly from the internet. So if we open Kami directly from the internet, it's going to take us to the exact same spot as if we open the Chrome extension. Okay, so Chrome extension, we click on the purple K, or we go to the web app, it is going to take us to the same location. Okay, and so once we are logged in, we are going to see this screen. So for everybody right now, one of those two ways, go ahead and open yourself to Kami. So you're looking at the same screen that I have on my Google Meet. Okay, so you can do it through your extension by clicking on the purple K, or you can use the link I just posted in the chat to take you through the website. Now, the first time you do this, it is going to ask you to register and sign in with your Google. So make sure you do that because that is your single sign-on. That also gives you Kami Premier. All right, so I see most of you as Skittle faces instead of faces, but the couple of you that I see, are you at Kami? Are we ready to move on? We see the screen? All right, Sherry's giving me a thumbs up. All right, so this is our home screen for Kami. If we are trying, this is where our tools are when we're gonna set up. So from the teacher perspective, when we see these screens, there's a couple of things that I want to point out, and then we're going to move to the next spot. So again, I have gotten here either by clicking the blue or the purple K or going directly to the website. You can see I have the ability to open a drive, open a file. It can be Google Drive. We don't use OneDrive, but at home, if you had OneDrive on your home computer, you could do it here from my computer or from the Kami library. The Kami library has templates and things, built lessons. They have a ton of elementary school and just a little bit of secondary. So I know a lot of you are elementary, so it might be even worth your time to go look in that Kami library. You can also create a blank page. This is where that online whiteboard, those of you who said you were really into it, you would actually create a blank page, which is going to create this online whiteboard. You can also create a Google Classroom assignment from here. Over here, these trending templates, you know, you're in that search to make something cute and colorful. The templates that Kami has is going to take that idea of just instead of a blank document, you can start. So just from looking at the screenshot that I took, and yours all might look a tiny bit different. And they do change this trending template every single day of whatever is the most clicked on. But a digital notebook, you can see there's like a web design. You've got a T-chart. I'm a language arts teacher and I use T-charts all the time. So this is one of the templates I use constantly when I use Kami with my students because we do a lot of T-chart notes, T-chart writing. Even though I teach AP English, I do step up to writing, elementary school teachers, if that makes you feel better. We even color code. So this is your home screen and you've got lots and lots of ideas in there, okay? So once we are into Kami, all right, so what I want you to do, you can go to the this or that I have given you, or since you're in that home screen, if you want to just open a blank document, I'm gonna go and give some highlights of what the tools do and what they look like. So again, those of you, I want you to, you're going to listen to me through the Google Meet, but I want you to be looking and clicking at Kami while I talk. Sound good? You can use my this or that, or if you wanted to just open a new tab, you can open a new tab. The presentation itself has screenshots, but we're going to do it live. I am in the this or that activity. So this is what we did as our warm up. I just put it in the chat for those of you who didn't come in. And I'm looking at like craziness right now because I had all 20 of us collaborate on the same document. Some of this exact activity you probably wouldn't do in your class, but you might do something similar. And it's really fun because we can see that in certain ones, like digital and paper, we needed both of them, but we have far more shapes on this side than we have on other sides. So I can see a little bit of those parallel of who people liked more. We definitely like Flair pens better than ballpoint. Okay, we definitely like color ink more than colored paper, although we wish someone probably at work would pay for it for us. There is far more of you who are morning coffee than morning tea people, and we definitely like bright decor. I can tell by your bright colors. So as a collaboration tool, these are the fun awesomeness that is going on. So this bar right here on the left-hand side where you see under Kami Select Dictionary, we're going to go through these. These are your toolbars. So your select tool works just like a pointer in any Google Doc thing. So when I'm on the angle, I can pick up something and I can move it all around. Those of you who are looking at my live, you can see me moving my instructions around. If I wanted to move one of your annotations around, notice I can't. So this is part of that with your having your students collaborate. I can't move someone else's, I can only move mine. Ooh, so that little bratty kid cannot go and move someone else's work because it's stuck. I like that. But the pointer, the hand tool, kind of does the same thing, but this is how I can move my whole document. I don't know if you can tell I teach high schoolers. I don't know if elementary school students do that bratty things, but high schoolers do. I can also use this square right here in the select tap down. This allows me to scan and I can select everything in an area. So, you know, kind of like select all, but I can select all of the annotations in that area. And that's actually how I get into copy and paste if I want to copy and paste a bunch of them. Okay. For the dictionary allows me, so you notice I highlighted over the word shape. The dictionary allows me to actually get a definition for one of those words. The read aloud button does exactly what you think it's going to do. It reads it aloud. And so this is a way that if you wanted to input like a PDF that you have for some of your littles, or maybe in a foreign language, or maybe your DLI, you can get this to read along with the information. Okay, and they can even change the speed. So those of us who want to read that audiobook even faster, I can make it really, really fast. Okay, you can change the speed. Markup is where you're going to write. So those of you who are interested in the online whiteboard, okay, markup is where you're actually going to get your pen, etc. Okay, so if you are using your computer as a tablet, or you're writing on an iPad, or they're going to write with the mouse, the markup works. In markup, you have highlighters. You can do a text highlighter, so I'm highlighting a sentence, a free highlighter if I wanted a squiggly line, box highlighter. These are for your in or attentive students like me who want it to look perfect over the letters. Okay, so box highlighters have the ability to do that. Comment. In the comment section, this is one of my favorite tools. So, you know, when we're in Google Slides or Google Classroom and we're trying to leave a comment, it's a text-only comment. So in this comment box, you actually have the ability to leave a voice comment, to leave a video comment, or to leave a screen capture comment. Okay, so if you clicked voice comment, you could actually add a comment to the students hearing your voice. So when might you do this? A, if your kids don't read. Or B, you want them to hear your inflection. I do a lot of writing feedback via this. And so I will actually, before Kami had this, I had to pay money to do that. And so now I don't have to because I get to do it with Kami and it works really well. And same with video. There is a comment bank to save your comments. And I will show you that in just a second. Text box. So if you're going to type something that makes sense. Those of you who are math teachers, if you want to draw an equation box, you have that. Drawing is, again, freehand. If I'm drawing and I can change all of my colors. Shapes, you guys did awesome. You made your shapes and filled them in. You can change the thicknesses of your box and all of that. You can draw your lines. Eraser is going to erase drawings or shapes or all annotations of your own. So if you're collaborating in your class, you would not erase annotations of other people, but you could erase your own. This add media, these images, if you click on add media, you'll notice that they look very, very similar to our Google products. You can add something from your computer, a picture from Google Drive, Google Image Search. So if kids you're asking them to do something where they need to go find a picture of Legos, they can actually go to this G, which looks like Google, and it can actually search for them a Google image. So if I'm going to add Legos, look, I just search automatically and I can insert my picture of Legos. And and I can make my document all nice and crazy. It did go, I don't know if you can tell, but it went underneath the annotations instead of above. So that's awesome as well. Then I'm still in Add Media. They have stickers. So as kids are making these, so you got lots of things. Now this signature line, from a teacher's perspective, this is the best thing. If you have not created your signature in Kami, I don't know about you, but I have to sign electronic documents all the time. And so this is how you can, instead of like old fashioned way where you wrote it on a piece of paper and then you scanned it in the computer and then you cropped it and then you saved it as a file, this actually allows you to input your signature. What it will do is it pop up a QR code, take a picture from your phone, sign it in your phone, and then it's saved for all the time. It's always and always and always there, which is awesome. And I'm going to show you step by step how to do that in a second. Okay, so those are your tools. So here's what I want you to do. Go ahead and click back on the Google Meet. So we got all of those tools in there. Okay, for the signature, I want to show this to you. I put the screenshots in, so you're going to have some play time in just a little bit. And so I want you to see that in the presentation, you draw the signature on your phone, it pops up with the QR code, you sign it, and then you can insert it over and over and over again, which is really awesome. Here's what I want you to do. I will go back to my Kami to show you how to do it. Okay, so you are in mine. What I would like you to do is go over here to Open File. Okay, and I would like you to open something that you have, or you can go over to here where those three little lines are and click Menu. You're going to click your purple K. Click your purple K at the top. It's going to take you to your blank document. Okay, and then you can make a blank page, or you can make a digital notebook. You can pick one of these cool ones. Once you pick it, you're going to have your own brand new document. And I want you for 2 minutes, to play with one of those tabs on the side, add something into your brand new document so you have something edited. Because for our next stage, you have a new document. I'm going to show you step by step what to do. Okay, so 2 minutes of playtime. Add something to this brand new document. Yes, Amanda.
Quick question. You might have said this, but can you turn the orientation of the page? I'm having issues. Or no?
Turn the orientation of the page.
Because I saw like a Venn diagram, and I was like, oh, it'd be nice to stretch it out bigger. So like,
oh, like that one of the templates.
Yeah. So like landscape instead of portrait, or no?
No, unfortunately, in their templates, it's stuck there. But if you make your own, you can change it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
No problem.
Oh, you can't change the templates? I thought you could.
I was trying to do it for another person that answered, and I couldn't. I can rotate it. Is that what? Sorry, is rotating what you're talking about, or you want to change the whole side of it?
Amanda, I wanted to move because like right now it's like portrait, but I want to stretch it.
Yes, you can do that. You can't like control it as much as you want, but in the three little lines over here, you can rotate it clockwise and rotate it counterclockwise. So you can do that part of it, but it won't let you like stretch and change the shape. Does that make sense?
Yes, thank you.
Okay. Sorry, I misunderstood your question. Thanks for helping me, guys.
You said in the right-hand corner, there's a K.
So for your Chrome puzzle piece. So in your I need to share my whole screen so you can see that. Hold on 1 second. So up here where my puzzle piece is for your Chrome extensions. Okay. The purple K is your extension for Kami. You have a purple K. And so you can put a push pin in it. And then if you put a push pin in it, it will come up in this row of the things that you use all the time. So see how my purple K is right there? So that opens up into the Kami homepage.
So hold on, let me try to see where's my push pin at.
Yeah. So when you're in the puzzle piece, there's like a grayed out push pin, and you
Mhm.
just want to hit the blue or make it blue, and then it will show up in that list.
Got you. Okay,
Got it?
got it.
All right, perfect. When you are editing, I put up, this is a brand new document. I had some highlighter squares. I did some random things in here. You'll notice you'll get this pop-up on the side that says this file is not uploaded to Google. And so you can decide if you want it to always put it into your Google Drive automatically. So if I click save this to my Google Drive, you notice it did it automatically, and now nothing, it looks like nothing happened. And so so everybody save it to your Google Drive for a second. I learned the hard way with students that this is really important to teach them where it's going so you can find it. Okay, so again, if you don't have that pop-up window, you can go into this save icon up at the top right-hand corner and click save, and then it should be say Google Drive, and you can send it there. It might have done it automatically if you have already set this up for automatic Google Drive land. This takes us to our next part, and this is the next part of the toolbar. Okay, so we've got our signatures. Now this top piece is our menu bar. Okay, so it's really skinny, but I've made it bigger so that we have it. You can look at it live, or you can look at it in the Google Meet, because I'm going to highlight each of these things. So over here where the word Kami is, that is going to take you back to your home screen. So I don't want to go to my home screen. I want to stay on this document. But the Kami K, where it's the spelled out words on the left-hand side, takes me to Kami homepage. This toggle sidebar, if you click on it, this is actually where those comment banks are, those annotation banks that Maria was asking for. So there's a couple things in here. If I had a bunch of documents, this would be even more helpful, because this is where it's going to give me all of the list of my pictures. If my document was 15 pages long, I would see all of them as a thumbnail, or I could see them as a list. This is also where, if you click, I have an annotation summary. This is where you can see every single annotation that happened on that page. Now, that's not super important when you're the one that's doing the annotations, but if you're going to use this to collaborate with multiple students in your classroom, this might be really helpful, because this is how you can decide, did everybody do their part, or did Sherry do all of it by herself? And so when I have my groups of 4 doing annotation together, I always tell them, because it color codes them, it's like, I should see all 4 colors of you. And if I don't see all 4 colors, then y'all didn't do your part. And so it's nice to be able to see that. So again, how did I get there? That's in this toggle picture. It's a square with a line in it. And then I click on the conversation box. Okay, so that conversation box is going to take me to where everybody else wrote. The box that looks like a paper box, this is where I can create my template for my comments. And so you can name them, you can sort them, you can put, this is where whatever template that you are going to grade with, this would be a good place to put those in there if you wanted those to be able to use. So this is where those are. And then if I had one, I can just click it and drag it on. So that is that corner. Now I'm going to close that. This search bar works like Control F. So if I had words, so if I'm going to look for, let's say it's multiple pages, I want to look for the word brand. I type it in, there it is, it highlights it. And so it can search a document for words. This button where the picture of the Google the Google Drive and Kami uploads, this is telling you where it's saved. So you know those kids that can't find it, where it went into their Google Drive? This is how they find it. Again, I've got the image of the Google Drive, Kami uploads, and then what it's named. So this is Bubble Map 2. If I want to move it, because this is all in my Kami uploads folder. So if I click here, it gives me the option to move it to any of those folders. So right now it's in my Kami's uploads folder. Okay, but I might want to put this in my American Lit team folder, etc., and I can move it to any of those places. So again, how do you move? You click in Kami uploads, and it will pop up a pop-up, and then I can move it into the right spot. So if students can't find it, or you're training students to make a new folder, that's one way that you can have them move it. On the other side of the purple bar, so on the right-hand side, I can zoom in and out, so I can make it bigger or littler. Kids figure that out automatically. my open folder, which is the picture in Google that opens a folder. I can open any of my files. So for example, Sydney Murphy's rhetorical Priestess frame. Pricey, this is one of the assignments she was doing today. It's in my Google Classroom. I just opened her file directly in Kami because it's one of the I was just looking at. And then from here, I can see where Sydney's is. It's in the Google Drive. I can write all over it. If I was going to highlight and say, hey, do this. Okay. So that's my open file. Okay. I have lots of things. I can open it. I can actually search and open it from many places. So this is if you're opening a new document. This share button, this is actually pretty important. This is where if you are going to have students collaborate on the same document, you're going to edit this in the share drive. So it looks like the two little triangles, but it works much like Google. Okay, so I have restricted, which means only me. My domain means all of our USD, and I can decide, just like when I'm looking at it, if they're viewers, editors, or individual copies. The this or that document that we were on, I have my shared setting that anyone with a link, so every single one of you, have edit access. Okay, and then I've also decided whether or not I'm going to give you permission to download and print the file. And so if I say no, you can edit it, but you can't download it. Why might we do that? Let's say we don't want someone to take work that's not theirs, but they're all collaborating it. I might turn it off on no. Okay, so we have the ability to change that. Now, anyone with the link versus RUSD. So those are those two options. Okay, and then when you save this, it will save it so that everybody has those edit access rights to your document. Okay, so we have that. The print button is pretty straightforward. I want to print an original. I want to print with annotations. So you have those two options to print it. Okay, the save button, it is doing this automatically. However, and this is one of the frustrations when we first started using Kami, sometimes it's not saving it as fast as you're working. So you've given students an assignment in Google Classroom. They've changed their little edits. They turn it in so fast that Kami didn't have time to talk to Google Drive. And so when you open it as a teacher, it's blank. Most of you have probably experienced that. And the kids are like, but I did it. So here's a good training to train the students. Before they turn it in, they're going to go on to this save, and then it will say all changes will be saved, and they can just click save it in Google. Okay, so I'm going to take myself back instead of editing Sydney's document. So you notice I click save, and see it says one change saved on Kami will be saved to Google Drive in a few minutes. No, I don't want it to take a few minutes. You can actually click save changes now. And what it's going to do is instead of waiting a few minutes, it's going to do it right away. And so that's a training method to tell your students, especially if they're doing something really quickly, because we're used to Google Docs, which is a live edit in every single doc, but Kami is like 3 minutes behind because it is not in the Google Suite. It just talks to the Google Suite. Okay, this is also in the save button where you can download it. I have to sign my weekly attendance on Kami, and then I download it to upload it into our Google Classroom. So this is where you would do that as well. Okay, you have another download button, and these are all your options. If you're using this as a whiteboard in class, you might want to do an annotation only export, and so you just save those annotations. You might also want to export it without that. So you have all of those options. If you choose flatten annotations, what that does is it makes it a one PDF that nothing can be editable. If you leave them open, then they could still edit if they opened it back up in Kami. Okay, so again, flatten means I take away the option to edit. Unchecking the box or leaving the box unchecked means that if I opened it in Kami, I could still edit it as well. Your help button, Kami has tons of online stuff, so that's what your help button is. And then your 3 lines is really a ton of more versions of your menu. Okay, and so these are some of our advanced features that we will be looking at. However, one I wanted to show you is delete all annotations. So those of you who are secondary teachers and you're doing the same document 5 times, you annotate with your class, then you can go over here to delete all annotations. I'm the owner. It's going to delete all 13, and I'm going to delete all of them. Now I'm ready for second period. Those of you who are going to use the same graphic organizer multiple times, you might, you could open it again brand new, or you can delete all your annotations if there's no reason for you to save them. Okay, that's a really important thing. I use it every time I use Kami because I want to delete all annotations. I do have the ability to restore all annotations, and I can take myself back if I need to. I can go back and forth. This is also where you rotate counterclockwise, right? So when I misunderstood that question, which I'm really sorry I misunderstood, I can look at, if I have multiple pages, I can look at it from multiple pages. Also, if you are going to present this in class and you want to take away the toolbar, presentation mode makes it quicker, takes away the toolbar. Okay, so you saw that, and I just hit escape, just like if I'm in Google Sheets. And I can also hide comments if I, again, am presenting to a bunch of people. All right, so many different little tools that you can play with. Okay, I talked about sharing. So I'm going to give you 8 minutes right now to go play. Take something you want to do tomorrow. I wrote a list of different things. Log into Kami, explore the homepage, open a document, practice with the tools, make yourself a signature, share a copy if you want to see how you collaborated, if you shared properly. I will also be here to help if you have any questions, but I'm going to give you 8 minutes of play time. Okay, the video has music, but it's obnoxious. See it? Hear it? We're going to come on back to the Google Meet. Come on back. We have got about 8 minutes left. So I'm going to show you a couple things really, really fast. In the Google Meet, your comeback question, what is something you just played with that you're like, my students will get this? Again, something you just played with that you think your students are it's gonna work for them. Let's see. So your comeback question to the Google Meet is type in the chat, something your students is gonna work with them. Copy to the whiteboard so they can save and adding stickers, collaborating on a graphic organizer, weekly updates without erasing each other's stuff. I know Jamboard, that drives me bonkers. Exploring Kami Library, great resources, document annotations for an essay. Like it, like it, I like it. All right, so just very quickly, Kami Library. I know, I like the sticker look in Jamboard, but I hate that they can delete each other's. Have students read aloud, add messages, perfect, so they can record them. So already using it, Lindsay. Going all over those tools. Sometimes when we use something, we forget those pieces. All right, so Kami and Google Classroom. So again, like I said at the beginning, they are married. And so if you are wanting to create a Kami assignment for your Google Classroom, it is very simple. There's 2 options. Inside your Google Classroom, when you create, you would just create it as a Kami assignment. So what that means when you do this, it's going to open it automatically to Kami so that they can annotate. So you directly through here, you'll click Kami assignment, or back on your Kami homepage, remember that's when we click the little purple K, you can click Google Classroom assignment. 2 options, the exact same thing happens. It's going to pop up in this Kami assignment window. And so it looks very similar to a normal Google Classroom assignment, but what it's doing is it knows it's a Kami tool. You give it a title, you link the document that they're going to edit, you change your points, your due dates, all of that topics. Now, control features is the reason that I like this, is that inside those control features, you can decide what your kids see. You can give them all of the tools like I gave you, or you can limit it down. So especially if you have littles, limiting some of those tools might be very, very helpful. A dictionary is really great if you want them to look up words, but a dictionary is not so great if you're doing a vocabulary quiz. The read aloud is really great for a lot of times, but not if you want them to practice their own fluency. You might want to turn off that read aloud. Okay, so inside, when you've assigned this to Google Classroom, you have the ability to turn off and on any of these features. So this is part of assigning in the Google Classroom. All right, so when you grade inside Google Classroom, you've probably noticed this little K is open. So this is a Google Doc. And when it opens in my window, I see that Google Doc, but if I click on this K, it's going to open it in Kami, so I could actually handwrite my annotations right on side of it. Okay, so those are our cool things. A couple tips. Once they've submitted it, they can't edit it. We already know this, so they have to unsubmit in order to edit. Another tip, you can see their edit history, right? So edit history in Google Classroom is there. You can also, and I showed this to you, you can see their edit history in the tab as well. So their student version in Kami itself. Okay, this presentation has a million different links. So these are all pre-ready stuff that you can go steal in registration. Here's even more links about how to do with Kami. There's a lot already created. And so I just put them all together into one spot so you can use all of those links. More appropriate technology in our classes for thoughtful lesson designs, have our students lead in their own learning. We have accessed the tools. We have explored the tools. We've learned how to post in Google Classroom. If you want more, October 25th is an advanced training. And so we will not be going over any of those toolbars. We will just be looking at how to use some of the more advanced things. You can sign up in KickUp. Just put the link in the chat. And it's time for us to confirm our attendance for this session. Okay, so you can confirm your attendance. The link is in the chat. And type in that code. I'm actually going to also turn off the recording right point so I don't have to edit myself twice.